as we all know, we got younger and younger as as time passed by, and AI has been emerging quite a lot in project management world. People start talking about it. So Dharam will walk us through the challenges we might facing for the next generation, and I think it's a really great topic. So Dharam, would you mind to go to the next slide for me? Thank you.
I thought I'd given you access, control, but any.
All right, so if okay, please mute yourself. That'll be great. And then if you do have any questions or comments, Dharam and I have discussed about it. We are more than happy for you to unmute yourself and just asking questions during the session. Dharam is more than happy to stop and to answer the questions for you. But if you do think it's not something you would like to do, please feel free to put it in the chat. And the question will be addressed in the Q&A session as well. If you don't have any questions throughout the lesson, we will have that at the end of a presentation. And we do encourage you to keep video on if that's possible. Even though that's all good. I think I can go to... Dara, maybe I need you to help me to go to the next slide.
Sure.
Thank you. So let me just quickly introduce you Dharam. We all know Dharam is very experienced in project program portfolio management. He actually has over 29 years of experience in IT, telecommunication, government, banking, and insurance industries, and of course more. Even though he looks so young, but he does have more than 29 years. And I really would like to share one fun fact about Dharam before I get into more serious side of him. He actually does yoga. He has his yogi, what's that called?
Yippee
UEP
yoga.
yoga?
Yippee
Yes.
yoga.
So stands for Yoga in Park for Extreme Energy. And he actually provides voluntary service to the community as well. And that's really good for him to give back to the community. Apart from the fun fact, he actually also a winner of global training and development. Also the CHRO Asia and the 25th World HRD Congress in Mumbai. And he also held the title formerly as a board of director, certification director, and company secretary with PMI Sydney chapter. So he's involved in project program is all over the world. And we are very lucky to have Dharam here with us because he's going to fly out to America tomorrow. And I wish you have the best trip. So Dharam, would you like to add more about yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Michelle, and thank you for
No
the
worries.
opportunity. To all of you guys who have trusted me over the period of time, giving me opportunity to come to Brisbane and at PMI conferences, and now we started pgmp and pfmp information session, and now this one. So obviously, I'm doing something good, so that's why you're calling me again. And I'm involved a lot in pgmp, pfmp. I mean, around 10% of global numbers coming out from my teaching, and they have attended my different type of programs. And as I was talking earlier, I have now 10 people with PGMP out of 466 who have completed the exam in less than 2.5 hours. And I'm talking PGMP. And look, I don't want to create any word record on that, but when I teach, I just talk about make them the clarity is very important for them. Once you understand the material, once you understand how to deal with different type of question, then exam become like walking the park. So I do feel take pride on that yes, many of my students are achieving these certificate. I mean, we're talking one of the most difficult certificate in program and portfolio management. And if you have tried that, you know what I'm talking about. So over the period of time, now as I said, 466 as of yesterday, PGMPs and 121 PFMPs, 121 PFMP out of 1,300 or 1,400, I think still a reasonable number, which is growing. I'm happy with that. But yeah, thank you again, Michelle, Sandesh. Val is the one who introduced me again to, hey, Dharam, come back and do something for us. So here I am. So thank you. Thank you, all of you, and thank you, PMI Queensland chapter.
Thank you, Dharam. Thank you.
Pleasure
I'll
to
hand
have
over
you here.
to you. Yeah.
Yeah. And as Michelle said, if I'm talking something and you feel that I should stop and this burning topic, please jump in and maybe put your hand up. Or Michelle can, if I don't see, Michelle can see Dharam, there's a question. Happy to take that.
Yes, I'll monitor the chat if you do have questions.
Yeah. So look, project management or program management, portfolio management, we call it with a generic name as project management, and it's actually a growing area. And you probably see now the demand is growing, and I don't know how many people have started looking, but some places growing, some places you may find okay shrinking. That can be many reasons. Some global reasons are there, and some technological changes are happening. All these are contributing to some advantages and some challenges for us as the project managers. So, what challenges we are going to see in coming days, and what advantage we can have as a being more ready. Look, having challenges is not a problem, but are we ready for them? That's more important. If you are ready, then challenge is no problem. I mean, as I said, if my students know what they expect in the pgmp exam, pfmp, you know how to navigate through and get the result. So that's what it is. So today we're talking about next generation project managers, what you can do to improve yourself and more marketable and more ready for the new challenges. As Michelle mentioned about AI, artificial intelligence is here already, and it is impacting a lot of jobs, but I think it's going to be more advantageous for project managers one way or other. Yes, you might say that a lot of work can be done automated by the machine and all these things with the new software coming up. But that means you will be more free up to do your, what you meant to do, such as stakeholder engagement or your team management, working with the team and motivating the team rather than worrying about your admin work, day-to-day work, which can be taken care by some of these new technology coming up, which is good. So compete in the upcoming market, yes, project manager must have technical. Of course, we should know the project management from the PMBOK, and now digital experience is also important. And there are many other skills, soft skills, which you need to have as a project manager, which can handle the current and future trends coming up. So. And you probably know, these are nothing I'm creating. It's part of PMI's Pulse of Profession. 11.4% of the projects, the investment is actually going downward. That means because of some reasons, projects have failed. The failure reason can be many. So we can find it out why the projects have failed and what you can or what you will do to be making your projects more successful. So, there are a few of them you can see need for more precise planning. Sometimes we get started, just maybe because of your pressure from your customer or your business. Hey, don't worry about planning, just get started. And guess what? If project fail, who's to be blamed? You. And I can give you example, when lucky I was, the project actually went well, but I joined HP and they asked me to establish the Asia Pacific level cloud data center in Sydney. And as you know, the sales team, they did a great job by selling this cloud technology to Telstra and Energy Australia, MMS, and a few other big giants. And the expectation was that the data center to be fully ready and populated, fully connected by June next year. I'm talking November to June. And I was like a contractor, as you know. My boss, my manager, his name is Bob, happened to be Bob, Bob the builder. And he asked me, Dharam, can we do it? And I'm a contractor. Yes, we can. And I said, look, Bob, this is achievable and I can see there's a possibility, but I don't, if you're expecting me to do all the project management stuff and risk management, that's, of course, I was not doing the right thing, but actually I advised him because I have to do it. If I'm not doing, somebody else has to try that. I said, if you ask me all this project management process, I love talking about them, but so I started, but the thing is that why we do planning so that we are more ready. We should able to see what's coming and how we will deal with those situations. Like I give you example, if you have to go into jungle for treasure hunt, and there's a huge treasure sitting there. One is, okay, guys, let's get started. without knowing what is in this dark, deep jungle. The second is, okay, let's take time, understand the scope, understand this requirement and how and when, the tools, technique. So that will make you more ready for such event. And yes, that doesn't mean you will have a pleasant journey. Of course, you will be better prepared than other team. Inconsistent procedures and techniques, of course, if you have not standardized these procedures, processes, and you don't have right PMIs tool in your organization, PMO is not mature enough. So these are all another way we can find how we fail. Incorrectly managing or accounting for all the project stakeholders. And that stakeholder engagement is very, very important. As you know, project manager, program manager, the communication is the key. How you identify the stakeholder, how you engage the stakeholder, and keep them informed is a key for your success. For example, if you are my builder and you give me a call on one morning that Dharam, your house is ready, and you and your family can come and have a look, and we go there, and we're looking, hey, what is this? The color of the wall, the tiles, we don't like it. No, he will say, look, this is what you signed for, the contract. This is everything as per the contract. No, contract is fine, but if you have invited us during color selection or during the one you've done the first part, so it can, we could have changed at the time, but now it's too late. Now we have to live with that. So he may say, look, we did a house for cheaper and under shorter time. You should be happy with that. I can say I'm happy, but in a way, I'm not family going to live with this house for some time. So you did a job, better job. You think you did a good job, but stakeholder was not happy. This could be as simple as keeping them informed, inviting them to the demos and events. That's one way. Budget overrun and other causes. It's if you don't control the budget properly, things can go wrong, and maybe some failure happen, risk happen, and you go back to them. And it can be because underestimating, or your sponsor or your stakeholder has not understood the impact. I will give you example here. I'm working for Westpac, and I was working on a program to, I don't know if anybody here has worked for Westpac. So they wanted to, reduce the leave liability. You know how Australia, we have 20 days every year we can accumulate. So that was becoming a big challenge for them. Now they said, we're going to encourage the employees to take 10 days, at least 10 days of leave. And Infosys was there, and I was kind of between Westpac and Infosys, one way or other. So we thought we know the leave, what kind of leave we have, sick leave, maternity leave, this, and all kind of things. But we are about to go live and suddenly fail because UAT failed. Now I'm talking to my manager, hey, look, at this situation, we need extra money to, because this was not and I told you that we should keep 20% of contingency. Like, Dharam, great, but we don't have contingency. You asked me this much money and I got approved. But I said, look, I also told you about the contingency. I know this is, whatever happened, but this kind of situation can happen, risk can happen. If you don't have enough contingency, if you don't manage your budget properly, you may end up having all kind of challenges. I hope this makes sense. Yeah. So major causes of project failures, it can be people, the way you work with people or the way people work with you. It can be internal politics. It can be, other factors, processes, lack of processes, or not knowing how to use the process, or not not using, the team is not using the process properly. And the communication, as you know, if the communication breakdown happened, just like last week, the pgmp or pfmp session, I changed the date without communicating with you, and I thought everybody pick up. Anyway, so communication, the verbal communication, the written communication, and also more than that is the way people, the body language, the tone of when you speak, the way you speak, and how you, and what information to provide, all this matters. So communication is very, very important for any project, program, and portfolio managers. So most common challenges for project managers, undefined goals. So, it can be that some of the goals were not identified or not defined properly. Ideally, what should happen? A sponsor should create a vision for the project and the goals identified. Goals should be measurable goals, something we can measure them. If not, when you're closing the project, it will be difficult for you to close because they are expecting something and you are delivering something. And I'm sure you have heard about scope creep. One of the sponsor, one of the stakeholder call you, your team member, hey, I need some extra field to be added on this on the screen. And this guy, if you don't do the change control process and put some change without going through the whole how this can fail, what can the impact. And guess what? And this kind of calls coming, and you and your team is taking care, and suddenly your team is working late nights and over weekends and still not satisfied. So this is one area we can improve immediately by having proper change control process. Okay, yes, change, yes, welcome. We are welcoming change, but we're going to go through the process. And if there's impact, cost impact, time impact, we'll let you know. And they should pay for that. Inadequate skills for projects. So of course, most of you at this stage have the right skills, but sometimes project managers, or sometimes because, I'll tell you classic example. Telstra was going through when I was invited for some kind of a vendor bidder kind of situation where they wanted to get all the project program, portfolio manager, PMI certified. So they're talking some of the people, because of reorganization, they have to either let go or give them another role. So they said, okay, all these EAs, executive assistant, they are good in organizing things, managing things, talking. Why can we, let's make them project managers? Great idea. Because what project managers do, they just run around, make the things happen. But project management is not just talking and organizing. They are more than that. As a project manager, you should be able to foresee what is coming. How can I handle that? A lot of things goes in project management. Having right skills very important. Hence, we're talking about PMI talks about PMP and other certificate like pgmp, pfmp. Why? It's not another certificate. It is to learn using the skills, the project better way of doing things and getting the results. These are mostly the skills you get from PMI. These are you can apply them in any of the projects. Most of the time you get success. And again, PMI do have, there is a fine print, not all the time. You have to tailor them as per your needs. Lack of accountability. Yes, you've probably seen that many times. Your program sponsor or some of the, they are not, or some of the people, they are not taking the accountability, and they are not. And that can be because roles and responsibilities are not clearly defined. As simple as that. Improper risk management. I don't know how many times you face that this could have been identified as a risk. When you're closing the program or something and you lesson learned, you said, this risk happened. This happened, an issue happened, but we could have identified this as a risk. So that can be because of lack of maturity of the organization, or lack of right process available in the organization, or lack of project management skills you have. So understanding what can go wrong and be ready for them, like your probability, probability and proximity and impact and the prioritization, and focus on the high priority risk and have right response plan. So this itself is a very important area. Ambiguous contingency plan. Yes, there can be ambiguity. And if you don't have right plan, if this risk happen, this is our contingency. Plan A, plan B, plan C. But if there's, if the clarity is not there, you have a problem. Poor communication. We have been talking about the communication, how important the communication is. If you don't provide the right information, right time to right people, you may end up having problems. Resources not available, having availability of right resource, right time, their capability assessment, and their capacity assessment, all important to know. Lack of stakeholder engagement, as you know, is very, very important area. Stakeholder engagement. If you don't spend enough time to engage with the stakeholder, you can have a challenge. And digital transformations happening everywhere. And if you don't see the full scope of the digital transformation and don't have the right skills, then you have a challenge there. Any questions so far? So how can we overcome them? Of course, if they're undefined goals, we should spend enough time upfront with the authorities or the sponsor or the steering committee to define the goals and document them, and make sure you have some kind of signing up happening. Scope creep, as we talked about, having a right change control process is very important for you. And of course, inadequate skills for project managers. So make sure you go through some learning process, whether it is about a project manager, have PMP, whatever job you're doing, make sure you're skilled enough. You should know the tools and technique. So doing this certificate gives you knowledge about various tools, techniques. It's like if you invite a plumber and there's a problem, your tap is leaking or whatever, and he probably end up having thousands of, or not thousands, hundreds of tools. And you imagine he's trying this and he's trying this, and say, what are you doing? Especially when you're paying on minute by minute time, and you get crazy. This is simple fix. Can you not use this wrench? Oh, I didn't know about it. Okay, trying. So knowing about tools and technique is important for you, and that's where going through some of the certificate from PMI can be very useful for you. Okay. Lack of accountability. Of course, we should have defined roles and responsibilities. Everybody know what to do, what not to do. And they're signing the scope statement or program project charters. Improper risk management. Of course, they have a knowledge, make sure the PMO or the project team has understanding about the risk management. There should be standardization of how to define the risk and who should be involved, who should be the risk owner. There should be clarity on that. Ambiguous contingency plan. So requesting that people identify possible problem areas can result in smooth and successful projects. So if we can work out, right approach to start with, we have clarity over the plan, and maybe spend time to see if this is going to really work. Test it out, check it out. Poor communication, of course. Identify your stakeholders as early as possible, and understand their communication requirement. What communication they need, when they need, what tools they need, what is the frequency of the communication, what technology we have to use for making the communication. That can be easily fixed. So resource deprivation, the project manager process aid project manager in establishing demand and securing approval upfront. So knowing about what resource demand you have, of course, you have visibility of the projects. Yes, one project is easy for you to manage. Of course, if you are running as a program or portfolio manager, multiple projects, and you need to have understanding of the work, the pipeline, and what resources you need in what capacity and how much, all the skills. More understanding you can have, having a right tool where you can see visibility. Nowadays, you can find good tools where you can, and that are already either connected with your projects or have part of the same tool. The HR is having already related to the project, so you can see if the project is about to come finish or their delay. Accordingly, your resource allocation can also shift, and you get some warnings and advices from that. Lack of stakeholder engagement, as I mentioned, identify them and have a stakeholder register, understand what they need when they need. And digital transformation, adapting to the correct tools, system, and procedures become even more crucial as more firms brought the digital transformation training. So understanding the full scope, what is changing, what is happening. And of course, when you talk about digital transformation, there may be impact on the people as well. Because when you're making some of the work as digitalized, some of the manual work is going away. So some people get worried about their job as well. So think about how it's impacting and what you can do as a project manager. All right, any questions so far? So overall, project management is in great demand, and it's going to be actually becoming more and more in demand because a lot of organizations are realizing importance of project management. And having a right structure, right person, knowledgeable person is going to be a key for in next 3, 4, 5 years. As we get further, the demand is increasing. While people are worried about the chat GPT is taking over my job or AI and all those things, but actually project management is going to grow further. Okay. Major challenges for the next generation project managers, like technology globalization and the disruption of traditional corporate culture and model. So we have seen, actually, it's nothing new now. COVID has actually made us realize that having people in the same building, same floor is good to have, but nowadays you can have team members sitting in different part of the world. And we have seen that, if you're working IT, you're already having connection with somebody sitting in India or Philippines or in US or other places. So how are you going to work with this kind of remote environment with your team sitting in different part of the world? The time zone difference and many challenges. You have to understand that. Worker involvement, project managers' capacity to grasp various roles and responsibilities. So you need to now, actually, project management is one skill, but you may have to think about having other skills as well. Knowledge of other areas can be also useful for you. Project manager will be impacted by innovations and risk. A lot of innovations are happening, changes are happening. The thing is that, should we continue what we started with? If a better way of doing things, you should understand as a project manager, maybe talk to your sponsor and steering committee, look, there's a better way of doing the same thing. There's extra investment required, but maybe we can get you faster results, better results. So being open to whatever the innovation is happening. So yes, it's a disruption, but that can be in your favor as well. Okay. So future trends, some of you already know, we have been talking and looking at, and we already start talking about, blockchain, artificial intelligence. There are a lot of talk about sustainability and remote team. As you know, we talked about remote team, people working from anywhere. So it is becoming actually reality now. If we talk about before COVID, other than IT, not many companies were allowing people to work from home. Now more and more people are working from home. Not only home, you can be traveling anywhere. And thanks to some cloud-based, technology, cloud-based tools, that is also making it possible. So blockchain, more businesses use blockchain technology for management, such as when you're conducting dispute investigation. One of the most significant contribution of the blockchain to project management will be smart contracts, which are effectively and self-executing contract powered by computer codes. And the capacity of blockchain to automatically update data. I don't know if anybody here who is working in the blockchain. I've not worked, so I may be talking that this is not working. Tell me more about, maybe you feel free to share more about that. Okay, somebody put anything. For example, I'm south coast of NSW, ATM helping my mother move. ATM? What is ATM? Aaron?
At the moment.
At the moment.
I should say LOL, because I didn't know about ATM. NSW ATM. Okay. What is ATM? It's anytime move? At the moment, help you. Okay, fine. All right. That should not be. All right. So yeah, one of the thing you have to think about, blockchain, it will help you to speed up your job and get the things done better. And more tools are using this blockchain technology. And artificial intelligence. More and more companies, more and more countries are start using it. Of course, if you are in this world, IT, you probably heard of chat GPT. If you're not using it, how are you going to use and how are you going to use it for your efficiency? That's important. You may see that this is taking my job and get worried. Or how can I use this technology to help me out? And another day when we talk with Michelle, Michelle, you can write SOW, your statement of work, project charter, program charter. But I was suggesting, I was talking, you know what? First you write your own, and then ask ChatGPT to refine it for you. Like sometime when I'm sending email, before I ask ChatGPT, okay, let me write it down the best I want you to send. Then I take it and put it in the ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT, actually I talked to ChatGPT. Can you help me to refine this text? And immediately some beautiful lines and beautiful words. Wow, I never thought like this. And
Yeah, Dharam, last week it helped me to write the reporting specifications and requirements in a tabular format. I was happy. Saved me a lot of time.
exactly. Well, look, there are ways we can use it. And Aaron, if you had to speak, maybe speak out, it's just typing. It's better like this,
Yeah.
we shall jump in.
So, didn't want to interrupt you, but yeah, AI, I'm using it daily to help me with narrow AI to help with my job daily. But I keep on just struggling to understand better how blockchain can help us. If you could probably possibly provide some couple of examples, maybe I missed what you were saying before.
Yeah. So, I'm not expert in blockchain, by the way. I just want to give a disclaimer. But blockchain can help you to automate a lot of things, some of the work you're doing. And that's also, AI is also helping. So AI in blockchain can help you to do some work automated. And as I said, I'm not expert in that area. If anybody else is expert in that area, please feel free to jump in. What else?
Yeah, because with blockchain, I can see how it can benefit the banks and things like encryption with security. But
Yeah.
when people talk about it with project management, I just ask the question, can you please give me examples? Because I'm just struggling a little bit on how that can be of assistance to us.
Here we're talking about smart contract, how, some key function, and you can have a quicker workflow. I have not used myself. So if I try to give you something, I may be, giving you wrong information. So I'll leave you to read whatever I have here and jump in. Anybody has a better answer, I will be happy to have it here. But
all right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your question. Yeah, so I can talk about ChatGPT. That's why I'm using it at the moment. I'm very passionate about it. It's helping me a lot. And I have to write an article. Can you give me some idea, the contents? And it gives you and can you expand it? That's right. Anyway, so you can see this $42.7 billion, 7.7% of Egypt economy. 135 billion for Saudi Arabia in 96 years. We're talking big number. So this is actually helping, a lot of economies to grow using artificial intelligence. So knowing about what tools are available, which has artificial intelligence already there, and how can you automate some of the things which, your daily or weekly reports, or a system can give you automatic alerts and give you some suggestions from that system, check it out. Sustainability, as you know, greener, wind energy and solar energies. There are many talks about that. How can we reduce our footprint, carbon footprint? So you when you're running a project or program, you may have to think about sustainability part as well. Okay. Remote team. The advantage of remote team is, you can spread across and you can cover multiple time zone, as well as you can have don't have to worry about the cost, because you can find somebody, a smarter, better person who may be living in middle of Australia, and person he cannot travel, but at least you can have the person working for you, and that can save you some money and travel costs, flight costs, all these kind of things. So you can see, yeah, this is becoming normal. Most companies are adopting this remote working, and more like a hybrid approach. They want people to see as well nowadays, but allowing you to work from home as well. So, and as a project manager, program manager, this is one of the challenge, because what people are really doing, whether they're working or not, and more important, they are connected with each other. Because when you're in the floor, you can see each other, we can talk to each other, you can see the well-being of other people. But when the person is working from home, yes, they may be working harder, but they may not be getting the results, maybe because they don't have the required support system there. So often you can call them, hey guys, what's happening? Let's have a, not always work call, maybe some informal calls can be useful to understand, are they coping with this situation? Key skills needed for next generation project managers. So there are many skills you can see here. Data science is becoming more and more important as you have trillions. I think terabyte is now nothing now. There are bigger numbers we're talking here. So how do you use this data, that information, in a more efficient way? Conflict resolution skills, very important. As a project manager, you're going to see various stakeholders or your team members having conflict because one way or other, maybe good or bad. Sometimes good conflict is good because let's say two people technically they're discussing about the technology, which one should be there. So that is good. But there are other conflicts, and you don't want to see that happening. People started using the language, and then you go to the other level. You know what I'm talking. So you need to have some skills around how can I resolve the situation and move on, because that if the conflict continue for a long time, that will start impacting your project deadlines. Digital skills, resource management, as you have limited resources and remote working, a lot of remote working resources. How do we engage with them? How do we manage them? That's another skill. Entrepreneurship, like project management, what you have given certain requirements and resources, money, people, and you have to get this done. So you need to have a picture, like big picture in mind. Okay, so that's where the entrepreneurship comes, and thinking that this is your own money and this is the benefit you need to generate, and you have power to generate. So data science, as you can see, becoming more and more important. Data science insights are essential management tool in the future, especially the larger project with extensive life cycles. Look, data can help you to predict what is about to happen. When you look at the variance analysis, and I'm talking the projects, you look at what was expected, what we have done, and that can give you some indication that are we going to miss the deadlines? Are we going to be over budget? So yeah, and again, having the right tool to manage their look at the data in a more efficient way, that can be useful for you. In terms of planning, insights from previous projects, the lesson learned can be useful. That can help you to save number of hours and time and pitfalls as well. In terms of execution, data analytics assesses progress and spot deviation early. That's what I'm talking about. If we find out, okay, this is about to happen, and you can take corrective action at the time. Conflict resolution, and I'm sure you have seen the different type of conflicts. Never underestimate the team's performance. Of course, the team has to be engaged. They are the one doing the job, and they have to be motivated. Behavioral and organizational aspect of positive workforce. So we like to see the team is motivated, excited, and working together to support each other. But that's where if you have conflict resolution skills, you know what and how this is impacting your project. How are you going to motivate them? Effective contingency planning. So you should have a contingency planning if this happens, and of course, effective communication. To resolve these conflicts. Maybe take them in a room. Let's put on the whiteboard. Talk about that, and using your conflict resolution skills, as you may go look at the PMBOK. Okay. Digital skills. They can help you decision making based on data, as we know. That can give you indication, trend analysis, and data analysis and analytics and management. Data security and protection is very important for you to know what can, whether my data as a project data is secure enough. Compliance with rules and regulation. So if you're working for a particular country, or let's say you're working for a European country, you need to be aware of GDPR and data privacy regulations they have. So your company policy, the country policy, the whatever it is, we need to be aware of that. Leadership and collaboration. You need, as a project manager, you are providing leadership to the project team and making sure they have the clear vision. You're allocating the right resources to right work, and resolving the problems. They should have confidence in you. They should feel that I am in the good hands. I'm working with a leader who help the team to do the job better. So if you have heard about this servant leadership, if you work in agile, so you probably know. So as a servant leader, you are the one who's solving or helping, creating the environment where project team can work effectively, efficiently. Management of knowledge. Yes, you have whatever knowledge you're gaining throughout the project. You need to have a system where you can capture that knowledge. In case people are leaving or will leave after the project, you should have a system where the lesson learns, you should be capturing those lesson learned, or anything we're creating, how you're going to capture them for the future projects and the other projects and works. Okay. Resource management, whether we're talking budget, time frames, and people. Look, people, and the machine equipment, these are different type of resources. So how can I manage those resources most efficiently to get the maximum value for my project? That is the important for you. So budget and timelines are becoming tighter as projects got more significant and more complicated. So having good control of those is very important. Today's project manager must balance the budget constraints, deliver the quality, and achieve deadlines with limited resources. They are entrusted with creating a lean organization. If I go back to my HP, the cloud work I was doing, I started with literally no resource available to me, no money allocated to me, and unrealistic expectation of the deadlines. Yeah. But I was, when I'm talking about this, I was delayed by only 5 days. The project, we got 2 data centers up and running, fully connected. We got delayed by 5 days. That's because of a backup problem. If you do join my program, one of the training program, how the miracles help me to get my project done. Actually, I should start a project, project miracles in project management. That's my another topic. How can you call your God to help you out in your projects? And that actually happened that way. Yeah, that's another story. Okay, so yes, availability of resources, the funding, the people are limited. So how can I utilize them in the most efficient way? Having the right system, right tools, and connect awareness of your project utilization, and the demand, and what is demand coming, and how can I be the resources can be allocated based on their skill set, based on their availability, and their capability, all kinds. Entrepreneurship. Look, project managers like a CEO. On one hand, they are bringing the change to the organization. They're delivering the projects. They are negotiating with the stakeholders. They are setting the realistic targets. As a result, being productive requires more technical and administrative skills. Project manager must also have entrepreneurship skills, such as strategic thinking, market insight. So what is happening outside, competitors' action, they may be more proactive than you. So what do you do? The skills is beneficial for modifying deliverables which is typical in agile projects, especially when we are developing the software. We need to be very proactive on that. And especially when we are in the programs, when we talk about the programs, we're delivering the benefits. We're not just delivering the output and outcome. We have to think beyond that. And that's where you need to have a more entrepreneurial skills. The benefit you're delivering, and you need to see how these benefits are aligned with organizational strategy and objectives, and you stay aligned with them. Okay. Additional skills you can have, such as we talked about emotional intelligence. You should be able to think what your project team going through. If you are in their shoes, how you going to react. Actually, that helps you to build rapport with them. It's not about the deadlines all the time. Deadlines, making money. Yes, of course. The team member who are working for you, they are human. They have emotions. They're going through life-changing events. And knowing about that, sometimes as a project manager, you talk to them, listening. Sometimes just simple listening to them can be useful for them. You may not be able to do anything, if you talk to them, hey, what's going on? I noticed that you're not happy or something, you're more stressed. Do you want to talk about that? And of course, there may be some personal issues they don't get into. But sometimes people want to, if somebody can hear me and I can release my, what's going on with me, and somebody can, actually happened with me. One of the team member, he was in Manila when I was working in HP Cloud. My team was in Manila. These three people came to Sydney, and I had good time with them, really great. But one of the person, his productivity going down. He said, hey, what's going on? And one of the evenings, look, Dharam, I'm really going through a difficult time in my life. I likely to lose my family because that's what's going on. Look, I'm almost in 2 shifts, and sometimes not somebody don't turn up. I'm in the 3 shifts. I don't get to see my son for many days. I mean, I got, because this team, and I'm talking about the one of the most critical deadlines for HP Australia, Sydney, and how can these people are working. So okay, I listened to him and said, look, I don't know what I can do for you. They say you have to work out your situation, but let me talk to my manager, see if I can bring you in my own time. Then I called Bob. Look, Bob, this is not going to happen. If you really want this to happen, project to go live on time, I need this team to be working for me. So one thing the Bob talked to some of the people, look, and he got the team only on my time zone. But at the same time, I built relationship with this person. And he said, Dharam, if you ever in the project, anything you need, I will be the last person to leave. I will ensure that we don't miss any deadline. So, that simple understanding or talking can be a big thing for you. Adaptive communication, yes, we have a structure and all this, but at the time to time, we need to see what communication can work in this situation. People skills, having soft skills, very useful. Different type of course, leadership skills, and whatever listening skills and all this very useful for you. Management skills, that way capacity to serve and encourage and concentrate the team, keep the team on track, and collaborate and make the team help you out to do the job. And flexibility, willingness and capacity to modify one's project management style. Yes, you have a deadlines and other thing, but being flexible is also important. Of course, you need to manage stakeholders and other things as well. Some people, you give them flexibility, like work, nowadays working from home, okay, you go and do the job, and that person will come back and do a better job for you. Olden days, we have, we are very strict, and people are yelling at each other and shouting, that can sometimes can work for the short term. Long duration, as soon as this person find a way around, they will leave or run away from you. But if you build relationship, through using these skills, can be very useful for you. Business skills, understanding the organization's business strategy, the vision, and which direction we're going, and all this thing can help you to align your project or program with organization strategies, the business strategies. Your business is growing and you said, now going this direction, your project is going this direction. Doesn't work. You have to align your project with the business requirement. Analytic abilities, of course, as a project manager, you should be able to see how this project is going to help, how the output of project will give me the benefits which organization looking for, analyze the situation. And we're talking customer focus. We are doing the work for the customer, is paying you for doing the job, and you need to pay attention to them and give them the expected benefits. Result oriented, yeah, we have to think about results, efficiency and effectiveness, and successfully delivering the work, very important. And character, project managers should have a pleasant uh, and a solid moral and ethical foundation, all this. And I tell you, when I was hired by Gold Coast City Council, and some of you are familiar with the Gold Coast, and Gold Coast City Council is at the time was second largest council after Brisbane Council, and I was coming from Sydney, and I was competing with another guy. He's working for the Gold Coast City Council, doing the same work for last 4 years, and I have never done this work, by the way, the work that network related. And I was selected over this guy. Then I asked my manager, "Can you tell me why did you select me for this role?" And he said, "Dharam, there are two things. One is because of your certification, you had pgmp, and other thing. Another thing is your ethics, work ethics, and you're ready to learn. That makes these small things can make a big difference for you." And now, at the time I just passed my pgmp exam, so that also helped me to get my job. And they were not asking for pgmp, by the way. When I do talk about that, people say, "Dharam, there's no demand at the moment. Why should I waste my time and money?" And I did my pgmp in 2010. In those days, I was the actually 8th person to pass the pgmp. Nobody, even in chapters, PMI chapter, has any idea about what pgmp, pfmp as well. And I was a certification director for PMI Sydney, and I didn't know that. I joined the program, one of the program, we invited Dr. Ginger Levine for me to learn about what is the certificate all about. End up doing the pgmp. Anyway, so my problem was, and now I spend so much money, probably $3,000, $4,000 on getting the certificate. In those days, it was very costly. Nobody's asking for that. And of course, I did a lot of work on LinkedIn and writing things and all those things. But advantage for me was when I was going to interviews, they were not asking for pgmp at the time. But the moment they see, okay, Dharam Singh, PMP, PG, what is pgmp all about? The moment they ask me this question, I know the job for me. Because I can explain why the difference between the PMP, great skill, but having a pgmp can have a big difference for them. And that happened in my 4 interviews. HP interview lasted only 15 minutes, which, one of the highlight for me. And Westpac and Telstra, nobody was asking for pgmp, but I end up talking about pgmp. And the moment that happened, I know the job is for me. So yeah, other things. Yep. So few crucial insight. Continue your journey through this, strange and ever-changing world of project management. It's a changing every day, something new technology, new way of doing things. Disruptions everywhere. Be agile. If you're not agile, you will be gone. Being agile means know what is happening. You can't just say, "Hey, I have the skills, I'm done for my life." No, something else coming up. Chat GPT, artificial intelligence, blockchain, all this thing. What can work, what cannot work for me. And keep yourself open to learn. What certificate can help me on this? Many things, Expect all the teams to act differently. The teams are working differently, people are working differently. So you need to build some skills around how to handle this complexity of the different type of team members, different type of, so help team member understand the big picture. How do you do this? By creating a vision of the project or program, so that everybody understand where we're heading to. Because you probably have seen some projects, you're working on a very large project and you're doing a small thing in that. I said, I'm doing the same thing again, like a firewall rule. Somebody who's opening the firewall rule. No, you are not. By opening this firewall rule effectively on timely manner, you are helping this organization to step into the new world. When people can connect themselves with the bigger picture, the vision, they are more motivated, more excited. Okay. I hope I have given you enough skills, and let me check the time. How are we going time? I think we're just on time, actually.
Yeah, we're just on time. Yes.
Yeah. So I hope I've done justice to this, the time you contributed today, turning 1 hour here. If any question you have, please feel free to contact me. Yes, I'm traveling back to, my second home is Australia, where I spent 22 years. Currently, I'm residing in US with my 50% families in Australia. So you will see me coming again, more often. And but when I'm in US, you can connect me through my email address or phone number. WhatsApp is, can work anywhere. And book my time. You can note down this. I'm recording this, or you can take note down, or you can go to my website and click this. Any question related to pgmp, pfmp, or anything related to PMI certification, or in general, feel free to book my time. It's free, and happy to work with you. All right.
Thank you, Dharam. Thank you. So we have a new group, my PMIQ. If you want to scan the QR code, it will take you to the LinkedIn webpage. And I think most of us have already joined. So like Aaron, if you haven't really, because it's a new initiative. So if you haven't really joined, you can take a look.
Yeah, but we'll do. The only problem is I'm actually on my phone, so I don't know how to scan it.
That's okay. I can send you this QR code, or even just the invite from LinkedIn later. It might be
Yes, please.
easier. Yeah,
Thank you.
no worries. All right, we'll go to the next page. All right, we are very excited about PMDoS 2023. So I know most of us here have already joined PMDoS for the past few years. And Aaron, have you joined the PMDoS before? It's an annual event, the project management day of service. So we work with communities, nonprofit communities or companies, and then we kind of help them to solve their problems and issues, mostly around how they start an initiative. And my experience with PMDoS was really good. So you can take a look, and there is meet and greet cocktail event on 26th of October. Then if you are interested, reach out to us. We'll help you to register the event. And then
Thank
the
you. I'll come
event
along to the
itself,
meeting.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'll come along to the meet and greet because I've been looking forward to catching up with Dilo.
Oh, that's great.
With the MS-DOS, I was actually hoping to do it this year, but we've just had a new phase of our program ramp up.
Yeah.
And so I've been in a lot of planning sessions, so I'm likely to be able to join this year.
That's all right. If any circumstances have changed, let me know. More than happy to include you. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. And I'm sure Val, Sandesh, and Milena have already joined, right? So I don't have to call you out. Thank you. Thank you, Dharam. If we can go to the next slide. All right, Sandesh, is your mentee?
I'll run that one. So I guess the thinking behind the Mentimeter survey, everyone is, we usually start our planning process for each year charter events and professional development events like this one. We usually start that planning around November, December sort of a time frame. So we are coming really close to the end of the year. So we want to hear from our members because at the end of the day, we are here for you. So your input into what I guess excites you and what you want to topics you want to hear from chapter events, as well as how we can help you with the professional development as well. So we want to hear for you. So we want to make sure that we are doing the things that are going to be valuable for you. So if you could please scan that QR code, if not already, and enter that number here, which is 89421110. It will take you to the page, and I'm just going to start from here. So you see the first question. Let me know if anyone is having issues joining that. But if you join that, the first question is around the topics or the themes that you want to see at the chapter events next year with us. And I think most of you attend our chapter events as well, so certainly your input is valuable. So I'll just keep that just for a few more seconds. And I'll go to the second question. We only have two questions. So I'm going to keep you here for too long. And you can enter multiple questions as well. Sorry, multiple responses as well.
So Aaron might be busy with the QR code. I just want to quickly to go through the exciting events coming in the background. So we have a monthly PMP and KPM certification webinar, and that's happening fortnightly, Sunday and from 11:30, and it's a Zoom, so that will be good. Just dial in, and we have a Scale Toastmasters. Val and I are actually the member. So if you are interested in knowing about Scale Toastmasters, reach out to us. And we have October, we have monthly program management and portfolio certification webinar as well. It's on 6th of October. Then we have a PMP and campaign certification webinar. It's a fortnightly Sunday. So those are different webinars. And we have Scale Toastmaster again in October. So Scale Toastmaster it's happening monthly. So just reach out to us if Aaron, you have any questions or any interest in those events. So Aaron, do you have any questions for Dharam?
Not at the moment, thank you.
Well, that's really good. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, I will ask the one question. Is that because I have been on the phone, I haven't been able to take any details. Will these slides be available to review later?
I can send you the information about where you can find the events. There's an event calendar on PMIQ.
Yes, please.
Yes, and also I can send you what was the other thing? Oh, the LinkedIn webpage. Those are two things I can send you. So it's really good to have you here with us, and really thank you for your time. And thank you for Val, Binena, Sandesh, and Dharam as well, especially Dharam for your 1-hour presentation. It's really useful as I'm a big fan of AI. I really like ChatGPT. And I know there are more and more different AI on the market now.
Yeah.
I wish one day I can pick up more studying, maybe just specializing in AI projects. It's a dream. I'll get there.
Yeah, you can have a ChatGPT 4 and there are lots of add-ons available. You can create lots of picture automatically. You can ask Expedia.com, Expedia to create a plan for you. I mean, there's so many things you can do by using this technology.
Wow, I'll definitely reach out to you because I really love AI. Thank you everyone for coming. And if you don't have any questions for me, and I wish you have a good evening. And then I hope to see you all in person in the next event.
So before we go,
yes.
I just want to highlight that the PGMP PFMP session, I will be leading one. So this will be our 5th session. If you have not attended previously and like to know more, there are already 4 recordings available on the YouTube channel. If you are looking for that, happy to help you out. Maybe on my LinkedIn page, you can find those connections, those things, or at least my YouTube. So feel free to watch them or join these events. They're very useful. We learn about, every time it's something new, some questions we do, and many things. So please feel free to join.
Thank you, Dharam. I'll definitely check out your YouTube channel.
Yeah, more than 200 videos, Michelle.
Wow. Thank you so much for those resources. And thank you, Aaron, for coming. And thank you, everyone. I'll see you soon.